For centuries, the religious zealots preached of our impending doom. And at long last, we face our apocalypse. Yet despite our losses, the Savior still stands amongst us with the strength, cunning, and speed to save our species.
It is kind of fun / silly that still, in this day and age, in 2011, people still use Crysis as kind of a benchmark to go online to tell other people how big their EP PCs are.
Yeah.
I can run Crysis on medium without lag. Ugh.
I think it's finally time that people realize that it might not only be because it was graphically intense, but also kind of badly programmed. But let's save that for another show.
Not on tape. But it's time now to just skip Crysis 1 and go to Crysis 2, Crytek's new graphically impressive first-person shooter featuring a nanosuit.
And it definitely is graphically impressive. It's one of the few games today that you'll start up and just be amazed from the get-go. It's heavily story-focused this time around, which kind of caught me by surprise, and it is more or less continuing the trend of turning like a big Hollywood blockbuster into a game. And it's one of the games that has come closest to actually achieving that in my point of view.
Let's start out, of course, with what people expect from a Crysis and Crytek game. Graphics.
Yes. The graphics are amazing, and they are amazing on all formats. The PS3 and the Xbox 360 versions are really, really good. I should even say spectacular to look at. Some people have complained about jacking because supposedly no anti-aliasing have been used, and I did notice that, and it did, as a, you know.
I can confirm that on the PS3. I had big issues with the lack of anti-aliasing.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But I'm a sensitive boy, so.
I was going to say I'm a PC. I'm a spoiled PC user, so that might just have been something that I noticed. But I chose playing it on the PC, and the PC version is nothing short of amazing to look at. I mean, it throws all sorts of details at you, and even more, the game presents almost at a blistering pace. Just cutscenes or situations where you just sit there and think, I didn't even think this was possible, but apparently it is.
And it's really nice to see as well that they're actually in New York this time around, instead of the jungles of some tiny tropical island somewhere.
Yeah.
Do you think they managed to capture that, just the feel of the sea?
Oh yeah, definitely. A lot of games have tried to use this whole ruined, exploded, wasted city as a background, but Crysis does it better than most everyone else because it mixes the green pastures that you have to you tend to have in big cities like New York with the ruins and everything of buildings that have just come down, and that means that you're not only looking at gray and gray and gray and fire and explosions. You also have like different colors in there, and of course there is the whole alien menace that actually brings another color palette into the mix, and it just looks absolutely beautiful.
From graphics, which I've heard aren't everything, gameplay. As a first-person shooter, what do you think about Crysis 2?
Let's be honest here. The first Crysis wasn't really that good of a game. It really wasn't. The sequel is, and that was by far the biggest surprise to me about Crysis 2. The whole usage of your nanosuit and its amazing powers, you know, you have armor mode, you have cloak where you can go invisible, and everything in between. First of all, they have combined the powers this time around, so it's much easier to use, and you have shortcuts for the powers. Or actually, you had that in the first game, but this time they're explained from the start. So everything works much better, and you're also able to actually harvest alien DNA and upgrade some of the powers, which is some would call like a console version of the system from the first game, but it actually works and it gives you like an incentive to actually keep playing.
Shooting, weapons?
Everything again is much better this time around. The weapons in the first game lacked impact, and they don't in the sequel. And also, the whole effect of your weapons on the world this time around is much more visual. So when you shoot something, either it will explode or just turn into rubble, or dust is flying everywhere, and it just looks completely amazing. I keep going back to the graphics, but that is like a main theme of the game.
So in general, is a solid first-person shooter, which is fun to play, and it has amazing graphics.
Yeah, and also about the gameplay, they have been much more straight up about this being like sort of an arena-based game where you are put into a situation and you actually get this computer that says, you know,
I am Batman.
Yeah, kind of, but that you have certain tactical options, and you're able to like go different ways about the situation. You can go stealthy or anything in between, and it actually makes for some more diverse fights where you always have certain different things that you can do, which keeps it fun.
Okay. And just a final mention as well, the storyline, because seriously, the first Crysis, I wanted to shut it off after 20 seconds when they introduced the character Psycho, who happened to be a psycho, which really made me head desk. Sorry, Crytek, wasn't really the best writing ever in a video game. But now they've called in a real author, someone who can actually write. How do you feel that worked out?
I liked it, but I can certainly see how some people will just find it so bad that they will want to turn it off just like you wanted to with the first game. I liked it because it's more or less RoboCop. I love RoboCop.
We love RoboCop here in GRTV.
It's RoboCop mixed with an alien invasion, which in my world is kind of just
even
the
more
best
awesome
mix of stories ever. And it is more of a background for what you're doing this time around than it is something that you should really intensely follow. So it works, but it's only okay.
Okay, fair enough. But better than atrocious in the first game. Sorry, didn't say that. All right, so it actually lives up to expectations.
Yeah, I would say so. The only thing this time around is that it's released in between some really heavy hitters. In the FPS genre, of course, you have Bulletstorm, you have Homefront, which some of us like, and now you have Crysis 2. So you should definitely go out of your way to try out each game and see which one is for you. But Crysis 2 definitely surprised me, and I mean, if you're into these like FPS titles where nothing has been spared when it comes to resources, go out of your way to try Crysis 2.
All right, heads up, it's inbound. Proceed with caution. Enemy units sighted in the crash vessel.
Move it! Get that thing back to base!